Hey, what's going on? Joey Contino here, and on this episode, we're going to reveal who's under the mask of the flamingo on The Masked Singer. We're going to go through all the clues, all the audio. I'm going to answer all of your questions. Now, before we do, make sure you subscribe, hit the notification bell, and give this video a thumbs up. Let's get started. So those who are new to the YouTube channel, hi, how are you? My name is Joey Contino. I'm an executive audio producer here in beautiful New York City, where it's my job to find audio for shows throughout the night. And when that audio does not sound good, it's also my job to make it sound good, whether that's taking out a high frequency, whether it's taking out maybe a little buzz, maybe it's pitch correcting something. And for those who don't know, every single week The Masked Singer gives us these clue videos, and in those clue videos are the celebrities giving us clues about themselves, but Fox is smart. They said, if we let them speak with their real voice, everyone's gonna recognize it and they're gonna have no fun playing the game. And so they speed up their voices and they pitch it up so they have no idea who it is. Except me doing what I do, I figured I could slow down the audio and pitch correct it so that we can hear the real celebrity. Now that plus the clues, we can determine who's under the mask. So right now, I'm going to go through all of the clues on the flamingo, and then from there we'll go through the audio, and then I'll go ahead and answer all of those clues. So let's start off with the very early season, the pre-season video that came on. Now I have all my clues on my computer here, so if you see me reading, that's pretty much where we're going from. From the very first clue video, we had learned that she loved this mask as much as she loves mascara, someone who likes, obviously, doing makeup. They said that they're taking a vacation from their tropical life, and then they said that they loved pink. So now that was in the preseason. Now this was episode 2. In her clue video, there was Spanish music playing. It showed that she had a ZooTube, aka a YouTube channel, just like this. She said, I know what it's like to feel trapped in your career. She referenced a lot of beauty, fashion, and life advice. And there was a couple books on a shelf. One said Spanish, another one said Little Women. So that was from episode 2. On episode 4, where she came back in, she said that she went from hood rat to Hollywood triple threat. She said that she was discovered by a powerful wizard that plucked me off her stoop, which I don't know about the rest of the country, but stoop is kind of like a New York City kind of term. Anyway, and she said that she wanted to be a doctor, and she even attended a medical training school. And then the last clues that we have are from episode 6, the ones that just aired this past week. She mentioned the word Myra, or Mira, M-I-R-A, Myra. She said that she sang, danced, and acted her way to the top. And the last clue that we had is that she won an award, the National Association for the Advancement of Colored People Image Award. So those are the clues we have so far. Before we go ahead and dive into how this relates to who I think is the flamingo, I'm going to go ahead and play the pitch correct audio for you. First, here's the audio that Fox gives us every single week.
After my last performance, I realized that being the flamingo is one of the greatest opportunities of my life.
Now I went ahead and slowed that down just a little bit and brought it down a fourth. I almost did a fifth, but a fourth sounded a little bit better, and here's the audio that I got out of it.
After my last performance, I realized that being the flamingo is one of the greatest opportunities of my life. Mira, the real truth is, my story's not all fantasy. See, years ago, I started hating the sound of my own voice, and being on stage became one of my biggest fears. But now as the flamingo, when I hear I've done a good job, I'm relearning how to say thank you. And I'm reminded that I can do it all. I've danced, sung, and acted my way to the top. So tonight, it's going to just be me and my voice. And I'm finally okay with that. Thank you for helping me see that this bird is anything but basic.
Now, does that voice sound familiar to you? It should. Now, you can guess and comment below who you think it is, but I'm going to tell you who I think it is, and then we're going to go through the clues. I think it is Adrienne Bailon. Hear me out. All the clues match up. We're going to dive into it right now. We're going to start off with the pre-season clues. The first one I'm talking about taking a vacation from the tropical life. For those who don't know, she has a house in Malibu. Very tropical, a lot of surf, a lot of sand, a lot of sun. So she's taking a vacation from Malibu pretty much. Next was Loving Pink. If you go on any of Adrienne's social media accounts, whether it is on Instagram, maybe YouTube, whether it's on Facebook or whatever, it is flooded with pink. It's almost like someone threw up pink on her page. And she talks about loving pink in all of her videos too, so there's the pink clue for you. The next clue talks about how she loves the mask as much as she loves mascara. Well, for those who don't know, she has a YouTube channel, which actually goes to another clue later on, but she has a YouTube channel where she talks about anything beauty, whether it's tips, whether it's products, whether it is different kind of mascara that she likes to use. Oh, she also talks about pink on the channel too. But yeah, she talks a lot about mascara and how much she loves it. The next clues come from episode 2. The first one involves Spanish music. Obviously, she has a Latina background. Next, there were 2 books on the shelf. One that said Spanish, because she speaks Spanish, and the other one said Little Women, which was a big, big clue for us, because for those who don't know, she was in a group called 3LW, which actually was originally 2LW, but that LW stood for Little Woman. Yeah, big hint right there. Next, she referenced ZooTube, and the references to beauty, fashion, and life advice. We cover that in the other video. She has a YouTube channel where she gives beauty tips, life advice, and talks about products. So those kind of match up. The last clue that we had from the second episode is her talking about feeling trapped in her career. And this kind of goes back to after she was already discovered, she went from a girl group to a girl group. So she went from 3LW to the Cheetah Girls. And once she was done with the Cheetah Girls, because all she was known for was singing with a group, no one wanted to hire her for solo things. Because remember, at that point, Raven had her own thing going on. The other girl, who I don't remember right now, I don't know what she did afterwards, but at this point, she was getting typecast into being in groups, which was not good, so she felt trapped in her career. Now, the next clues are from episode 4. Now, these two kind of go together. She talked about being from hood rat to Hollywood triple threat, and that she was discovered by a powerful wizard who plucked her off her stoop. Now, stoop, once again, a reference to New York City. So she's from New York. She actually went to school here in New York, which we'll get to later. She actually lived here in New York on the Lower East Side of Manhattan. And she was discovered back in October of 1999 when she was singing in Madison Square Garden with her church group. She was discovered by someone very famous and powerful, Ricky Martin. That's right. At this point, he was doing his Living La Vida Loca world tour, and he needed 3 backup singers and dancers. Well, after he watched her perform, he had to hire her. So he hired her right on the spot. Once she finished with the world tour, she moved all the way out to Hollywood, where she became a part of 2LW, which became 3LW down the line. So as you could tell from there, her career definitely took off, especially going into Cheetah Girls. And the last clue talked about her going to a medical training school. Well, for those who don't know, while she was here in New York City, she was actually in a specific trade school for a high school. It was a medical training school for those who are looking to go into the medical field once they go into college. And at the end of the day, her musical career really took off, so she kind of left that behind. And now our last 2 clues come from episode 6, and I apologize in advance. I do not speak Spanish, so I will mess up these words. But the first clue was Mira, which, doing a little research, there is a Latina version of Dancing with the Stars, and it's pronounced, I'm gonna say it wrong, Mira quien baila, which translates into look who's dancing. And it turns out that she was on an episode of this not too long ago. So I'm assuming that those kind of connect. I may not be 100% sure, but I'm kind of guessing that they go together. And the last clue talked about her winning an NAACP award, and it turns out last March she won. Yeah, so those are all the clues, guys. So it seems like all the clues match up to be Adrian. I mean, do you guys agree with me? Do you disagree with me? Please comment below. Now, I will go ahead and give you guys all the rest of the pitch correct audio. That way you can listen to it. They're all not 100% right yet. They've been changing up this system every single week. I think Fox has been coming on my YouTube channel and watching what we do here and go, oh, we gotta put this to an end now. So they may not be 100% correct, especially because like the flower, her voice is a lot deeper than that, but I just can't get the pitch correct right. But here's the audio, take a listen.
I've been judged from the moment I entered the game, so blowing the panel away with my bark meant everything to me. It showed me that I'm capable of succeeding on my own, and I want it that way. Despite being a humble pup, I knew early on I was meant to be a star. You could say it all started thanks to musical theater and makeup. But despite how versatile my skill is, my pedigree wasn't fully recognized until now. So tonight, this dog's going to show off some new tricks, because I plan to be here till the end. Or at least until the love runs out.
When I first got here, I thought this was all just a game, so I never expected the nerves to hit like they did. And it took nearly going home to realize how much this experience means to me. It reminds me of growing up, where everything on the outside looked rosy. But in reality, on the inside, my world was completely upside down. But with this cloak of invisibility, I get to reconnect with an old love and the pieces of me. So tonight, I'm looking to put my nerves behind me and chose a song that makes me feel powerful and fun. So sorry not sorry if I go all out, just blame it on my juice.
I was so proud of my last round's work. I even jingle-jangled with a festive twerk. I'm not a regular tree, I'm a cool tree. It's time to tell you about my family history. My daddy's a tinsel and my mama's pom-pom. Mix them together, it's a holiday rom-com. Growing up, they told me to be true to myself. I've always been their favorite elf. They encouraged me to share all the gifts that I own. They never made me feel like I was left home alone. So ever since then, I've added wicked flair, more glow. Tried to be as colorful as a fruitcake, yummo! I hope tonight's performance will earn me gifts and not lumps of coal. So sit back and relax as I perform a song by the late Queen of Soul.
It is so funny. Last time I was on this stage, you thought I was all sorts of people. I mean, you think I'm a professional singer. But I've never taken a voice lesson in my life. I'm just a girl who never left her garden. My talent bloomed early on when I was just a seedling. And I must have had that X factor. Ain't nobody gonna tell me when to stop growing, boo-boo. Tonight, I'm ready to throw you off even more by singing a song that's not usually in my wheelhouse. So keep guessing, because I'm having a ball up here. And you can't put a price tag on what you love.
My little one, you wouldn't believe how incredible it felt to be loved on that stage. Let's just say, I didn't always fit in. I grew up in a rough patch of the woods. The other fox cubs weren't so nice. And that did a strange thing to my bark. I found that if I pretend to sound like other foxes, my bark was fixed. Shazam! Fast and Furious. I transformed into an undercover super fox. But even with all the success, I never felt like the applause was for the real me until I put on this mask. Finally having confidence in my true voice again makes me feel like I've made it. Last performance, I let my guard down and sang from the heart. But let's be real, I'm used to my voice winning over the ladies. What's up, Nicole? After I put on a good show, I always like to break bread with the homies. And this is how we do it. Feel free to snoop into my life. You'd see that my pops taught me how to serenade the ladies, and I hadn't stopped since. So Nicole Majig, tonight this song's for you. And I ain't too proud to beg.
Rehearsing for my last performance, there was an accident, and I suffered an electric shock that nearly knocked me out. All my insecurities about performing resurfaced. But I couldn't let that setback stand in my way. Becoming the butterfly has reignited a love I've had since I was 7 years old. I found others modeled just like me and was welcomed into the choir's joyful noise. It made me feel safe, even in the hardest times. This bleeding love has given me the highest of highs, but sadly led to the lowest of lows. As the butterfly, I am taking charge and reclaiming what I thought I'd lost, because this is what I was meant to do.
Performing under this mask has been so liberating. Like I have nothing to lose. I haven't felt this free since I was a young cub on the road, jamming with my pack of misfits and discovering who I really was. Being in this competition makes me feel like I did in the old days. People say that a leopard can't change their spots, but that's just not true. I'm a fresh new edition of the old me. Tonight, I'm reliving my teenage dream by performing like no one is watching, free as can be.
After my last performance, I realized that being the flamingo is one of the greatest opportunities of my life. Mira, the real truth is, my story's not all fantasy. See, years ago, I started hating the sound of my own voice. and being on stage became one of my biggest fears. But now as the flamingo, when I hear I've done a good job, I'm relearning how to say thank you. And I'm reminded that I can do it all. I've danced, sung, and acted my way to the top. So tonight, it's going to just be me and my voice. And I'm finally okay with that. Thank you for helping me see that this bird is anything but basic.
But I want to thank you guys for joining me. If you haven't done so yet, please subscribe, hit the notification bell, give this video a thumbs up, and every single week I like to leave you guys with a question, but this time, I'm going to do this different. Because I read all of the comments and everything you guys send to me, there was a lot of questions asked to me about where I work. And I technically can't tell you where I work, but I can take you outside. I'm right here in Lower Manhattan. Here's the World Trade Center right behind me. It's a little cold today, but yeah, now you guys know. I'll see you guys later.